Pressing through, nothing feels impossible with you.
2018 was full of many grand, highly viewed, spectacle PMVs, as well as it was full of sleeper hits, and I made an effort to see about every PMV I could. So, this year I've decided to make my own personal top 10 list of the PMVs I saw. Now, I'd like to stress that these are my own personal thoughts and should not be seen as any official critique. You may feel differently on some PMVs than I do, and that's completely okay. Also, I will be limiting this list to one PMV per person, as some people made multiple awesome works and I don't want the list to be dominated by the creators who really made a huge impact this year. I'll also be excluding PMV collabs from the list, as I want to focus on the individual talents that I saw within the year. PMV collabs, however, will be mentioned later on in the honourable mentions. Anyway, enough waiting around, let's get on to the top 10 PMVs of 2018. Number 10. Disney Melody by Tangerine Blast. The winner of Feel Good in this year's BronyCon PMV contest, and well deserving of it. Tangerine Blast has always been known for making tons of lip sync PMVs, including the entirety of the Hamilton musical turned into its own set of PMVs. They're pretty awesome. However, the main issue I felt with those is that sometimes the lip sync doesn't land as well as you'd hope. Here, with the Disney medley, it was less about lip sync than it was scene selection, and Tangerine Blast absolutely nailed this. It's hard to find someone that hasn't seen at least one Disney film, and you could tell the little references to Disney songs caught the hearts of most viewers from the crowd at BronyCon. PMV may not be technically perfect, but it's emotionally top tier, and just like what it aimed for, made me feel great.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Number 9.
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play.
The Nights by Shiron. This PMV is a fitting tribute to the late music artist Avicii, who unfortunately passed away in recent times. It's full of some insane looking visuals, accompanied by some custom scenes I personally envy. If I had one critique, I'd say that there could have been done more once it hits the latter instrumental. But that's more so my personal creator head kicking in, as more of Shiron's awesome visuals filled the scene quite well. Stellar topography, slick motion graphics, and all-around skillful application of everything mentioned stick this PMV out from the rest of Shiron's highly beautiful works, and this PMV is one that will stick with me for some time. Number 8. No Small Moments by Donnerstag. It genuinely pains me not to place this higher on the list because I adore this PMV. Donnerstag is not just a funny guy. Seriously, check out his BronyCon vlogs. Dave-13 is my favorite. But he's also an incredibly talented PMV editor. No Small Moments is incredibly cinematic from beginning to end. The opening transition, combining the main 6's cutie marks together to create a border for the oncoming visuals, really just set the standard for what was ahead, and ahead was something wonderful. Generally, I don't like seeing the movie and show combined, but here it just felt seamless. There are so many neat effects here, like the bars created out of show footage, the symbolic use of cutie marks, but frankly, the ending shot is what I adore most, as cutie marks appear in seemingly random positions, only to reveal all the most prominent ponies laying down where their respective cutie marks were placed. If anything, I only wish you'd kept the marks just there slightly, then it would have been perfect. Number 7. Escape, also known as Twilight's Corruption, by Smart Cookie. The best PMVs carry atmosphere with them. They absorb your mind and bring your focus only to what's on screen, and Escape by Smart Cookie achieves this seamlessly. This PMV is not in English, yet despite not understanding the language, I feel that I could understand the story thanks to a combination of Smart Cookie's artistic and editing talents. The minimalist style applied here is effective and allows Twilight to fit in with artistically different backgrounds, creating that different atmosphere I spoke about before. This is a PMV well befitting some drama, and it does it very well. Great stuff, Cookie. Very excited for what you have in store next. Number 6. Woof by CreeperZone. CreeperZone likes to call himself the Deadpool of PMVs, and that applies to song choices that are generally quite divergent from what you'd expect. This applies here with Woof by First Aid Kit, which I believe fits right into the atmosphere conversation I was talking about with Escape earlier. This PMV must have taken a long time. The amount of masking here is insane, and CreeperZone says that he used green screens to achieve this, and as someone who did something similar with my own Price PMV, I have the utmost respect for CreeperZone, and his efforts did not go to waste. In a lot of PMVs, it can feel like the text is there as a bonus, something to spice up some more simple visuals without too much thought. Here, the text serves a purpose. It's highly deliberate, and every shot was planned out in pre-production. However, to this point, my one issue with this PMV is that in certain shots, I feel the text is unnecessary. This is ultimately a nitpick, but it's just how I feel, and again, it's my list. Number 5. Get Out by Jack DC93. Get Out is the second edition of Jack DC's ever-interesting Meridian story. It's actually a prequel to the trilogy going on right now, and he plans to release the third and final part of that trilogy somewhere down the line. Anyway, Shelter last year actually beat me out for first place in TheLightLeavesThee's own top 10, and Jack DC hasn't disappointed here. This PMV uses green screens galore and manages to seamlessly blend show footage with said green screens of Starlight. Very similar to what was done with Shelter. Different from Shelter here is a fairly 80s-esque aesthetic, managing to set itself apart. It's the little things in Get Out that I personally enjoy. The text logs of the Meridian program, the vocals of the song presented as if it's a command from the program. It's stuff like this that just made me feel so good whilst watching. Get Out is a standout PMV in 2018, and honestly the fact that it's here on my list goes to show you just how high the quality of many PMVs that came out this year were. Number 4. A Thousand Miles by TheLightLeavesThee. Emotion. That is the one word I can tie to this video. This wasn't made to demonstrate technical prowess or show that the creator is the best. This was made from the heart. TheLightLeavesThee is a master of manipulating show footage to evoke an emotion. Generally a dramatic one, but here a heartwarming one. See, this PMV was created as a proposal. A video to commemorate the feelings of love one felt for the other, and that passion shows itself in a video that made many I know tear up. My only gripes with this PMV are certain moments where I felt that the topography wasn't necessary. I felt the show footage on its own was emphatic enough, but ultimately all that does is knock it down slightly on our list. This PMV is more than my list. It's a celebration of love, and I would love if you would all check it out.
If I can just hold you,
Number 3.
Shadows will scream that I'm alone.
Migraine by Electro-choc. Absolutely pure satisfaction this PMV is. Looking back, I regret placing it where I had in the Alicon PMV contest, because this PMV is wonderful. Choc is masterful at making a cut to a beat, and this is done so many wonderful times in this video, and all it does is make me bob my head to the song and video. It's a perfect demonstration of a song and video being perfectly in tune. The topography in this PMV is combined with some creative and smart custom scenes, along with some careful masking that made the text a pivotal part of the PMV more so than an afterthought. A technique I'll make sure to use myself in the future is keeping ponies slightly transparent so the text is fully visible. It helps add perspective and it looks great. Speaking of song and video being in tune, there are moments in the song when it falls to a silence, or lyrics that stand out that Choc takes advantage of. Particularly these two. These scenes take up so little time, but really make the PMV for me. Keep making awesome stuff, Choc. Looking forward to what you have to bring in the future. Number 2. A Derp I Used to Know by Applejuice. I really struggled in placing this PMV. It's one of my favorites in a long time, a technical masterpiece, one that just managed to shock me with the sheer talent. I remember the first time seeing this, checking the entries for this year's BronyCon contest, and seeing something I wasn't sure of what to expect. It just kept getting better and made me delighted to see it. This, and my number 1 choice, was a moment of hot debate. And genuinely, I'm still not sure if I'm happy with the decision. There are so many moments of each work that blew me away, but specifically with this one, it starts with Applejuice demonstrating his technical prowess with smooth topography and authentic looking custom scenes. Throughout this, we're treated to a remix of Somebody That I Used to Know until suddenly the song comes to a stop. See, this PMV contains what has got to be the most seamless jump to an entirely new song I've ever seen, as a computer alongside an actual simulation of an entire pony-themed simulation appears, and it's really just wonderful. The second section of this PMV really makes it in my mind, and frankly, is what placed it here as my second best of the year. The PMV's ending is so impressive and seemingly time-consuming, and I love it. Applejuice, you got an incredible career ahead of you, and I'm so happy to be here for what just seems like the beginning of your awesome journey in editing. Before we reach my personal favorite PMV of the year, I wanted to go through my honorable mentions because boy were there a lot of them. There was really just so much good stuff this year, so let's get into it.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck.
Some Nights by SoundoftheWaves. This was unfortunately SoundoftheWaves' only PMV this year, however that didn't make it any less great. Abby's always been known for her ability to make a great feel-good or dramatic PMV, and this one leans towards the feel-good side. Vibrant color correction and some acutely placed topography gives this one some good vibes, and one I'll come back to whenever I'm in need of some. 1985 by TheDarkSatanicorn. TheDarkSatanicorn is admittedly an edgy name, but don't let it deceive you from this person's talent. 1985 is a top-tier action PMV that features its fair share of technical moments to spice it up. It was close to making the list if not for one gripe. It's 9 minutes long. There's just not a lot of replay value in this, and for something as high-octane and action-filled as this, I want to come back to it, and that suits a shorter time span better. Freewheel Burning by TopJosh. Whoever said you needed fancy editing to make a good PMV? TopJosh made this with iMovie, and that continues to amaze me. TopJosh is already a god of clip cutting and uses that perfectly here for a song so high octane and full of action that it's just the perfect slice of action. Keep an eye out for this guy, he's still got a lot more in the tank and I know he's only gonna get better. Beings by Ian Mitchell. Madion's always been a good choice of music for PMVs, and personally Starlight Glimmer's always been a good choice of pony for PMVs. Ian Mitchell combines both in just an all-around solid PMV. I don't really have much else to say about it, unfortunately. It's just really good. Go check it out. Drop Pop Pony by Partylike. I had the pleasure of meeting the artist, animator, and now PMV creator Partylike at AliCon, where this video was premiered, and it's one of my favorites. It reminds me of the older years of the Brony fandom. It's so pleasant to see something like this made. It's something I really want to see more of heading into 2019. And also, congratulations at reaching 2nd place at the AliCon PMV contest. Peace Sign by Artekko. This PMV was on and off the list quite frequently, and the only reason it doesn't stay now is just due to one nitpick. See, this PMV combines animation and topography to create a high energy environment featuring Rainbow Dash, Speed Demon herself. However, the camera is so often still in this PMV that I just don't feel the energy as much as I should. I understand that this is to give leeway to the topography, but even minor camera shake would have done a lot here. Still, a very impressive animation as well as some talented topography. Definitely give it a look.
Mic check 1 2.
Konoyo Loading, MLP Style by Miles Prower. Forgive me if I said that wrong. Before I say anything about this guy, you should go subscribe to him. He's been flying under the radar of the PMV community for some time it seems, yet pumps out quality stuff on a very frequent basis. There were so many to choose from in regards to this editor for the list, but I think this Octi Scratch PMV is one of the most accessible. Great use of custom scenes alongside a fun song to create just a really nice vibe. Honestly, this guy's PMV standout is just really different from the norm, and really just intrigues me. Really, go check him out. Terminal by ZX. Interesting, isn't it, that I'd placed this PMV in the honourable mentions despite it winning Best in Show at the BronyCon PMV contest? Allow me to explain. Personally, I saw this PMV less as a PMV than it was a text-based journey. Most of the PMVs, well, text-based. It's a reading-heavy endeavour, and whilst I support pursuing a creative vision, I just feel like there could have been a more visually engaging way to achieve this. I love the idea, and I don't deny that it's executed quite well, just, it doesn't hit it for me. It's still rather good, which is why it makes the honourable mentions, but unfortunately, it just doesn't hit me as hard as it hits others. Anyway, that's enough solo honourable mentions. It's time for the collabs. All Night, hosted by the TTXYZ. Is it cheating to include a collab that I was a part of? I'll do it anyway, because All Night is just full of some flashy talent. In fact, a few of the people here in the collab are here on my list. All Night reminds me of some of the older collaboratory PMVs, perhaps since it's using a song by The Fat Rat, which is why I encourage every editor here, don't stop and keep making awesome PMVs. Run This Down by the Collaboratory. Who's gonna run this town tonight? That's right, the Collaboratory. The Collaboratory's kind of always been the gold standard when it comes to PMVs, and that's not changed here with a more action take. Featuring talent such as a returning Mr. Delupe, this collab really serves to remind everyone why the Collaboratory are in the position they are. Just as my next mention... I'd Go With You Anywhere by the Collaboratory. The Collaboratory's latest collab brings with it the arrival of 4 new members, one of them, Applejuice taking part, and proves to be one of the Collaboratory's more varied PMVs, even featuring some SFM work. Applejuice's reference to the popular game Ponytown at the end really made this collab for me, and it was one that I was really proud to organize. Great job, guys.
I realize you've been shutting me out.
Nothing's Stopping Me Now by Ponytime Rush. Ponytime Rush managed to establish their position in the PMV scene this year with a PMV with the interesting theme of a selective color palette being orange and blue. In some places this worked, in others not so much. But ultimately it's an interesting piece you should totally check out.
Stopping me now.
We found a reason to climb high.
Impossible by Jack DC93 and Daspacepony. Does this break the rule of putting someone on the list twice? I'll make an exception here for a collab between 2 very talented individuals. These 2 are so in tune with each other that they even managed to replicate each other's styles and fool me in regards to who had made what part. The collab is just really good and you should all see it. If it were on the list, it'd definitely be top 5.
A simple band of gold.
Sun is Shining, hosted by Cairo Cake X. This collab took a long time to make. Trust me, I was there for it. But it finally arrived on YouTube this year and proved to be worth the amount of time. Sun is Shining is one of those PMVs that features such a wide range of talents and styles that I'd show anyone who is even interested in PMVs, and that's why you should all see it.
So are you.
Matches, hosted by Alan Crytex. I kind of wish that the host of this collab, Alan Crytex, had made a PMV of his own this year, because I know it would have been spectacular. Regardless, Matches is spectacular in its own right. It's a very flashy PMV that brings some cool looking visual effects amongst a once again large range of styles.
I never got over it.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself a real good time.
Don't Stop Me Now, hosted by Fman32. Hosting a collab on such a classic song by Queen is a bold move, but I'm happy to report the team here delivered on making something that lived up to the song. This PMV is full of simple ecstasy and is exactly what it needed to be. Don't let me stop you now, because you should go see this PMV.
Have a good time. Just give me a call. Stop me now. Good time.
Alright everybody, we've had a lot of honorable mentions, but finally we can get to number 1, and that is... Number 1.
Wake up, turn on a new day. This time we'll do it our way.
Beautiful Life by Daspacepony. Oh, it's a beautiful life when PMVs like this exist. Daspacepony has always been someone who sets the standard when it comes to PMVs. They're the person I'm glad we have in the community. Whether it's stellar PMVs or their popular recraps of the Brony fandom every year, they're so talented and I love everything they make. Beautiful Life just makes me feel really happy. And the reason it takes place over a derp I'd used to know is for its storytelling. Such a simple story, yet so well executed. It's funny when you think about it, only about a minute of this PMV uses show footage. The rest of it is entirely custom from Daspacepony, and it's all used in a wonderfully creative and minimalist way, building to a scene that drew cheers from the BronyCon audience. Beautiful Life is a perfect PMV. It does everything it wants to, and it tells a beautiful story. Congratulations, Cat. Never stop being awesome. Thank you to all of you for watching this top 10 video. If your video wasn't on the list, please don't think that it was bad. So many videos in 2018 were spectacular, and it was so hard to collate that into just one list, which is why I've made another video representing just about every PMV I could find in 2018. Go check it out. But before that, make sure to go and subscribe to each person on this list. They're all incredibly talented and deserve the support. I can't wait to see you all again next year, as I'm sure we'll see some more amazing works. See you guys, Jarrodfeng out, and here's to an awesome 2019.
Some rules are meant to be broken, some hearts are meant to be stolen.